Ninjan, I hope you don't mind me mixing isiZulu and English. Okay. You know, as the preacher was preaching, I was wondering, ukuthi lo mzalwane manje uyangiphazamisa. Because I prepared a sermon like that one, very similar to that one. But then I thank God that He has given us minds that are very capable and flexible to do almost anything, anytime. The Bible says that don't worry. Actually, Ellen White also says that during the times of persecution, do not worry yourself what you're going to say. Because I'm the one who's going to talk. I'm the one who's going to speak. Okay, we seem to be feeling a projection. So what I prepared, let me just share a bit with you. It's based on Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, first sentence. In the beginning. And that was the whole sermon. You see that the term in the beginning is talking about time. Let me take off your minds from there. Can I minimize a bit? Okay, I can't minimize. It tells me that there was someone who created the beginning. There wouldn't be the beginning without the beginner who begins everything. Coming from John chapter 1, verse 1, in the beginning was the Word. It continues, it says, nothing that was made without the Word. So even the beginning had to be made. Time was created in Genesis chapter 1. And therefore, as we live under time, there is nothing that surprises the one who created time. We are living under time, but the one who created time can live in time and outside of time. He comes to Abraham's wife, he says, you are the mother of nations. And this woman says, how can it be possible? And she laughs because the entity that is talking to her is not an entity that is bound by time. So while she was 90 years old, about ukuthi angasakhona ukuthi azale, the one who is beyond time says, you are the mother of nations. He tells the husband, look at the stars. These are the numbers of generations that I will give to you. Isaac is born. Let me proceed to the time of Joshua. Joshua needs to complete his fight, his war. And he prays for the sun to stop. Taking you back to Genesis chapter 1. God says, let there be light, so that they control what? Times, days, seasons, and years. So according to the knowledge that they had was that time was controlled by the sun. So Joshua stopped because he wanted time. He prayed for the sun to stop. We go to prophecy, Daniel. Kuba nezimpi laphana, we see animals, funny animals persecuting the children of God. And after he sees that, Daniel, he says, how long? And the angel says, time, times, and the dividing of times. So time is very important. Everything that Jesus Christ did, he always said, now is the time. As I look through the scripture, I realize that time has an ending. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lo, I'll be with you till the end of time. The dragon fights the woman. He wants to attack her. Revelations 12:12 says, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, for the devil has come down to you, because he knows that what is time is short." It looks to me that before time, there was no time. So in the realm of no time, Isono was going to last forever. And therefore the devil was thrown in time so that the scene what? Ends. Are the problems that we are facing today? Nothing is of surprise to God. There's a woman in another church, a non-Adventist church, who had a problem to wet the bed. She goes to this pastor and asks, "Hey, pastor, I'm about to get married." Actually, it was a pastor who was giving her counseling. And he asked, "What is your problem?" And she says, "I have a problem. At home, we wet the bed when we sleep, all of us." And the pastor asks, "What happened?" And she could not answer until the pastor had to approach the eldest lady in the family. And the eldest lady tells the actual story. She says that somewhere in Malawi, the great-grandparent was fighting with another old grandma. And in their fight, she became very much disrespectful. And this old lady said, "Nina gini, niyochamela ingubo for the rest of your generation." Askisini mama allowance. So in that instant, from there, the whole family. So the pastor prayed and said, "God, you control the time. Please go back to that year."
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Back to that moment.
Amen.
Back to that time. And forgive the lady for offending this old lady. And after then, reverse whatever curse that has happened into this family, from the old generation to the last generation. Now I'm looking into the 10 Commandments. Honor the name of the Lord. Do not take the name of the Lord, because God's curses go from the first to the... God has revealed to us that He is beyond time. Blessed are those whose names are written in the Lamb from the foundations of the earth. The Lamb that was slain when? Before the foundations of the earth. When was the Lamb slain? 33 AD. It was not before the foundations of the earth. But the nature of God is that when He begins things, He's already ended them. Whilst we see the beginning, He's done. Ezekiel says that he was seeing angels worshiping God, saying, "Holy, holy, holy." And he says these angels were moving like what? Lightning. And then we measured the speed of a molecule, one molecule of light from one point to another. It's 3,600 miles per second. That's very fast. In other words, when you see a lightning striking, you see one bow. There's already 30 bows that went through, but your eye starts interpreting. But God says, "I am beyond that." So when you have problems, whatever problem that you have, tell God, when did it begin? We find Isaac lying about his wife. That is his wife. It's not he was lying, what is his sister and it's his wife. Where did he get it from? From Genesis chapter 19. Abraham says, "Wena, you are too beautiful. Just say you are my sister, not my wife." From the beginning, first generation to the second generation. Some of us have got problems that we don't even know where have they begun. And we have behaviors in our lives that we don't know where have they begun. Only to find that someone long before I was born, their DNA has been flowing through the bloodline, and it comes to me. Ngiba a problem of doing certain sins that I don't know where do they come from. Ask God. Forgive your parents. Some of us are born fatherless. Forgive your father. and ask God to reverse what has happened in the past. Therefore, today's sermon will be based on the health rules for God's children. I'm going to be very simple, and let me say a disclaimer before I continue. What I'm going to talk to you about is not designed to cure or treat any ailment. If you have a serious ailment, go and consult your doctor. All right, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical doctor. But what I can tell you, these are the rules that God has set so that his children live for long. And actually they have become medicine. So I've just said an opposite. Ne? Socrates says, eat your food as medicine. But today I'm going to teach you how to live long. How to live what? Long. The first one is honor your mother and your father so that your days on earth be long. All right, we are going to explore the book of Genesis. Can I have a projection? Okay, there we go. That is over. Okay, it was telling me signal processing. Please wait. Okay, I'm going to increase the slide. Health rules for God's people. You see, when some things are created in this world, a habitat for it that is suitable for whatever that is created needs to be created first. So, like for an example, when you have a car, I'm going to take off very slowly, so be with me. Because before you know it, I'll be running very fast and very advanced. So let's take each other very simple. I'm going to start with a very simple sermon since it's the first time I come here. As time goes, then I'm going to keep on opening up for more if it happens that I get another invite. I'm not necessarily asking for another invite, but I'm just telling you that my brain is flooded with information. My brain is flooded with God's messages. So wherever I go, I was just telling the pastors outside or Abadala outside, Guti, our pulpit is not here. I don't necessarily cry for the pulpit. My pulpit is outside in the streets there. And as a result, there are incidences that happened in my life starting from 2017 that I could not understand. And from there, God started opening up things, information to help other people. I'm feeling hot. Can I take this off? It's not an offense, ne? Okay. So, ever since from 2017, things have happened, and I've happened to help other people with the things that have happened because God has allowed some hurtful situations so that I can be able to open up my mind. Because sometimes we are really stubborn, Bazalwan. We can be really stubborn with what we know, with what is here in front of us. And God says, okay, fine, I'll allow this thing to come and bite you a bit so that you cry a bit, ubonikas, and see would this thing actually bites, so that you go out and warn other people that this thing actually bites. So it has forced me to go down from basic research, and it has opened up my mind to other things, such that I had a problem with some of the medical people, but some of them understood me and we get to talk together, and most of the time I get led to meet doctors everywhere, and when I meet doctors we talk, we exchange information, and they go like, young man, you're going to kill our business. So I'd rather actually term this topic as a topic to kill doctors' businesses. So unfortunately, if you are a doctor, is there anyone who's a doctor here? I'm going to try and destroy your career. What I'm trying to say is that if we were obedient to God, there would be no need for us to visit a doctor. But most of us are visiting the doctor because we are disobedient. And not necessarily us sometimes, but our parents and our parents' parents. Ellen White talks of vital force. Vital force is a force of life that you take from your parents. So in other words, when you are born with behaviors, with things that you inherit from your parent. And you're also born with deficiencies. And today we've got children who are born with sugar diabetes. Isifo sabantu abadala, but a child is born with it. I was surprised to hear someone is born with COVID. Ish. Yeah. So one of the first things that God created in the book of Genesis was water. The Bible says, let there be vault between water, separate the water from the water. Actually, we find water already on earth. Water is very important, Bazalwan. When you are conceived in water. There is what we call water birth that happens with those people who are advanced. They give birth underwater. And the child comes out. I used to wonder, how does a child breathe underwater? No, they've always been in water from the mother's womb. Water is actually what they say. It's actually, this planet is made of 90% water. Is it 80 or 90? It's 90% water. This goes to show how important water is. There is a therapy that I came across. This old man was discharged from the hospital at Tembis. My discharge from the hospital, when they discharge you sometimes in hospital, they see that you're about to die. And they let you go. So this old woman says, hey, Kolisile, I saw you talking about health on Facebook. Can you come and see the old man here? He was not actually old, he was around 50 years. So when I got there, God tells me, you know what, keep a bit of pink salt. You know pink salt? And then I just kept it in my car. Don't know why did I keep it in my car. So Mang Figa Lapana, the old man, when I see him, though he was not really old, he looked very dehydrated. Ebengasafuni lutho. His body had lost a lot of water. So, hopelessly so, I try and listen to God and I don't know what to do. He says to me, Shia letswai lelila, and then take a bit of his salt. Put it under his tongue. And I put it under the tongue. And then I asked Umam to keep on giving him a bit of water. The first one was lukewarm water. I always said, Mama, boil a man's. And whilst you boil the water, you let it cool down a bit and give it to Ubaba, a quarter glass. The problem with Ubaba was that amanzi were lose because of vomiting and diarrhea. So this person looked very dehydrated. They tried a drip. You know what is the purpose of a drip? It is to just fill the body with water. That's how important water is. The medical world knows that water is important. And that water in itswai neshukela. So when I put the salt under the tongue, I gave him a quarter glass of water so that he does not vomit. And every 30 minutes he kept on asking for water. Water. Ngati, Mama, don't you dare give him cold water. Just give him lukewarm water. And it happened, Uguti, after some time, saying hambile, the mother calls me, hey, lo muntu tulambile manje. I was like, okay, God is great. And then, ngathi kuye, Mama, please don't give him any cooked food. Just juice. Nakhona, don't overgive him ukudla because he is still vomiting. Guess what later salt do? Salt forces a reverse osmosis. It actually forced the cells to retain water in his body. Now, as time went, kuba khona ithi hayi man, hambo check uba umdlalose laphana eThembisa. So when I go there, I meet a man who's just doing a garden laphana ngithi hayi sanibona ninjani? Ah, isikhona. Ukhona ba umdlalose. Lo baba uyathula uyangibheka. Athi ukhona. Ngithi hayi no bengithi ngizochecka nje baba bengidlula. Anyway, I work for Eskom. So bengidlula ngithi ngiya kwenye substation laphana. So bengithi ngizochecka. Athi ngimi ubaba uNdlalozi, I hardly recognized him. I didn't recognize him. Just with water. There is a doctor that is going around that says you are not sick, you are thirsty. Most of the people are reliant on what we call viruses and bacteria, but in most cases, 90% of the time, the people who are dying in hospital bed, they are not sick, they are thirsty. Sometimes we wait for the time to feel thirsty that we are thirsty. I used to have migraines. Every morning I woke up, drank 2 glasses of water before I even wash my teeth. There's someone who was saying, hey, yanuga lento ekseni. That thing that you feel ekseni is not ukunuga. It's part of your B complex. Vitamin B is also responsible to boost your body with energy. So when you wake up in the morning and you wash your teeth, you have just gotten rid of what is important. It's an alkaline B complex. Asikisini mhlambe you thinking ukuthi lo muntu lo ufuna siphuza ukunuka. Yes, ukunuka kwakho. Why is it that when you release a gas in the bed, you don't have a problem with it? It's your gas. It's actually your force of life that you have in your mouth. So I would like to encourage you, because it has been created in the book of Genesis, water. Your body is made of 90% what? Water. When people lose weight, sometimes they want to accelerate. I'm not saying it's right. They cause diarrhea and they feel like they've lost weight. They have not lost weight, they've lost water in the system. Normally, when people ask me how to drink water, I say take your weight, multiply by 2, divide by 10. That's the amount of liters you're supposed to drink. So if, let's say, for an example, you weigh 60 kilograms, you have to multiply 60 times 2 is 120. Divide by 100, not 10. Divide by 100, it's 1.6. Yeah? It's 1.2 liters of water that you should drink per day. Now, when you exercise, you lose a lot of water. It means 1.2 is the minimum for umuntu to exercise per day. You start in the morning, and it's very easy. 1 liter is made of 4 glasses. Simple, eh? You wake up in the morning, you take your 2 glasses, and during the day before you eat, let me tell you, water again, you take it before you eat, 30 minutes before you eat. What does water do in the body? From external, it actually starts up your body, your digestive system to be ready for whatever that's going to come in. So awuvuki nje every morning when you feel uyafobela ama Kellogg's, ama cereal. You start in the morning with water so that you prepare your system for digestion. That helps you accelerate absorption of your nutrition. Just water. Angakhulumi ngokuningi. It's in the book of Genesis. Just what? Water. Many people have got sinus problems. Solution is water. Many people have got headaches. Water. Many people are suffering of fatigue. Have you ever felt so tired and you don't know where does the fatigue comes from? Take 2 glasses of water. You don't need an energy boost. One of the biggest challenges that we have today is that we drink a lot of energy boosts. About Red Bull. I have never seen such a growing sale of things like turbochargers. But the problem with those energy boosts, kuthiwa anoshukela. For every molecule of sugar, just one, it takes 9 calcium molecules. And that will give birth to brittled bones in your system. So can we reverse a bit on the sugar? The second item that God creates here is the earth. He separates the water from the land. What is the importance of the land? Abelungu bathi it's grounding. And you know, it's quite a mirror. It's quite amazing that izangoma, most of them, they walk on barefoot. I'm not preaching ubusangoma, right? What is the importance of grounding? When you walk on barefoot on the soil, nala is stooping. Actually, let me make an example of a child. Have you ever noticed that children have got a tendency of walking barefooted? They put anything in their mouth. And we say, sis, don't eat katulo. Actually, my son, when he started to school Samapunu, they always made, even in winter, they always made them walk on feet. Bafika bakhulula icathulo lapha, and I would get so stressed. But you know what's amazing? My son is hardly sick. What happens? I just went on just a little bit of investigation. What's up with the feet? The teachers told me, Uguti, there are nerves under your feet that get properly stimulated when you walk barefooted. So it's not all about being nice. It's not about ubungoma. It's all about connecting to the ground. It's getting grounded. I googled a little bit what are the benefits of walking barefooted. One of the things is that it relieves pain. Whatever pain you have in a body, your body starts the circulation process and gets rid of pain. One of the articles that I went through, it says 12 people slept on non-conductive mattress pad, that is umatras nje, and the other ones slept on the ground. And within just 3 days, they were pain-free, stress-free, they had no trouble sleeping. So, imibedo, yes, it's good. I'm not asking you to sleep on the floor. All I'm just asking is that have a relationship with the ground that God created. It helps you improve the sleep. Those who have a tendency of being sleepless at night, you might find the solution is very simple. It's not sleeping tablets. It's not all these painkillers. Some of the people, I was surprised when Mzalwane bought Alcophilex. He says, no, mangshai Alcophilex, ngiyakhona ukuthi ngilale. Kanti the solution is right there in the book of Genesis, the soil. Take your time, in a day, walk around barefooted. It won't kill you. I used to jog. It was scary for me because but Naya, I once asked him, he says, you know what, when I run barefooted, I have so much energy, I don't know where does it come from. Another problem that it solves is heart problems. Because it helps with blood circulation, it's not for you to always take aspirin. Daily we're busy taking drugs that are killing our force of life. Aspirin and all these things. No, you don't have to take those things. Try walking barefooted. When last did you walk barefooted, besides when you're going to bath? Can you remember? The solution is right there. And one of the most amazing things about these things that I'm going to present is that they are free of charge. They are free of what? I'm not going to talk about meat, right? But most of the things that can help solve our health problems are free of charge. You don't have to go and see a doctor. You just have to read the Bible. Every word that comes from God's mouth is life. Okay. Okay. All right. Walking barefooted regulates your nervous systems and decreases feelings of anxiety. Eh? Our nerves. You know, there's a specialty that I once heard of. They massage your feet. And when they massage your feet, they're saying they're touching certain cells or certain neurons under your feet. What happens? You get heart relief, you get a lot of things. Where do these things come from? They come from creation. So when you walk barefooted, especially in Esantini, it massages. It helps normalize your biological rhythms. Now, I know we hardly talk about these things in church, but there are rhythms that are generated from the earth. So when you ground yourself, most of the time, you are synchronizing yourself. Walking barefooted can even lessen the severity, ladies, severity of menstrual cramps. This is one of the biggest problems. When I'm distributing cannabis oil, a lot of people want to buy cannabis oil because they've got menstrual problems. And there's also other products that are being sold around to solve menstrual problems. Try walking barefooted. Try have a relationship with the ground. It boosts your energy. It protects your body from EMFs, electromagnetic fields. Do you know what are electromagnetic fields? Does anyone know what is EMF? Those who've done electrical engineering like me. Electromagnetic fields is, simple term, flying electricity. Your body moves because there's electricity inside it. So there are EMFs that are all over this planet. Radio waves, cell phone waves. They do interfere with your body rhythms. When we open an electrical device, before we start working with it, we take one cable, we touch it to the ground. And somebody was asking me, why you always do that? It's because I had one of the most gruesome experience when I was fixing a television. I took the plug off and I started working on it and it electrocuted me. And only to find what inside there are capacitors that were discharging on me. So human beings as well, they have to be grounded. Hey. Okay. The next thing that I see in the book of Genesis that God created is the air. The separation of the water from the bottom and up to create what? The air, the breathing space. Now, this one is one of the things that is a force of, sort of like a force of life. But how many of you have ever taken time to breathe? Just breathing. We think it's a simple thing. We have closed our mask and we are breathing. Breathing plays a very important role in our lives. When you wake up in the morning, take time to take in and out breaths. And it's amazing. I just asked Google again, but what does breathing do? It's also a natural painkiller. First time when I experienced this is when they had to give me a needle in Sakul. They were saying, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. And, excuse me, every time when I would not breathe, I would feel the pain. Until I started, as they're inserting the needle. What happens is that breathing increases the level of oxygen inside your body. And that helps you deal with pain. Ladies who are in labor, what do they tell you? Breathe. And it's such a simple thing. Oh, I'm breathing most as I'm talking. Breathing is very, very important. Breathing exercise is very important. When you exercise, you're also breathing. Why? What causes the body to breathe when you are busy exercising? It is asking for more oxygen to detox your body, because if you were not breathing, what would you do? You'd faint. And it's created in the book of Genesis. It improves your blood flow. And with the improving of the blood flow, it improves your immunity, your immune system, generates your white blood cells. We know Uguti, Biologically, we are told that your body has to be more alkaline than acidic. Right? When you are alkaline, your body is healthy. It gets rid of anything. Now, oxygen is one of the prisms or one of the ways that makes your body more alkaline. So, when your body becomes alkaline, your immune system is better. The more acidic your body is, the more sickly you become. There are a lot of things that we are doing in our lives, in our body, that are acidic. One of them is sugar. Sugar makes your body more acidic. And you know what? One of the scariest things that I once read, in a tendency, whenever I go to the doctor, I had a tendency of not just buying those things that are prescribed. I bought them, and enye into yenza ukuthi ngingasaphuza amaphilisi, because I went through that leaflet. You know, how many of us just buys tablets because the doctor gave a prescription? You just take the tablets and you drink. And you take that piece of paper, the one that they fold out mayivula ingaka. Take your time and read through that thing. One of the side effects, I don't know why they call it side effects, but it's one of the side effects. It's lactic acidosis. Lactic acidosis is when your body is vulnerable to anything. So I kept on asking myself, why must I continue to take something that is killing my body, that is making me more acidic? Why must I continue to take something that is making me more acidic and making me weak? Lactic acidosis is one of the reasons why many people are sickly. Uphume emvuleni for 10 seconds and you come back, you're wet. Few minutes later, your throat is itchy. Why? Because your body is trying to tell you that I'm acidic, I'm weak. Sometimes go to the pharmacy, buy that alkaline paper. You know that alkaline paper? Okay. Just go there and say, I don't know what they call it, but pH. P on it, and it will tell you how are you for that day. And try and live your life towards making it green. It calms down anxiety. When you're breathing, you know, sometimes when you're approached with something that is very stressful, take a deep breath, breathe. It increases the level of your energy. It reduces inflammation. One of the most important things is it detoxifies your body. You know, there's a doctor who is changing the whole medical field. His name is Dr. Stevens. He displayed something. You know, we are so reliant on microbes. Ukuthi lo uphethwe COVID because we tested him positive of a virus. And the most amazing thing is that the president's doctors a few weeks ago, actually, in High Court, they were asked to present a purified tube of COVID virus, and they could not. And they were asking, okay, but you tested a lot of people of this thing. Can you show us? We want a purified version, so that we can test what infect. You know I sound more political and more conspiracy, what. But when they ask in the High Court and the scientists cannot produce, it calls for a big question mark. Should I continue to rely on government information as a child of God? Displayed a blood sample that has got healthy cells, right? And then he exposed it to toxins. And immediately those cells started taking different shapes. Shapes that we would see as viruses, shapes that we would see as bacteria. Then I asked myself, what are these bacteria? Are they actually bacteria or just our cells? It's a big question mark in me. I may not know the whole truth, but what I know about being, when you talk to a what do they call these doctors? Toxologist. A toxologist will tell you the more toxic your body is, the more sickly, the more your body produces these things. So now the question is, can someone infect you with anything? I don't know. But we have seen a lot of couples who test COVID positive and the other one is negative, yet they're sharing the same bed. So what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of information that is ever changing. Science is ever changing. But God's health laws will never change. They are advanced. God created an apple in Genesis. That apple and a herb is still able to cure diseases that arise after 6,000 years. Because God's movement is once. Satan uzofika hlanye ayenzeni produce whatever that he produces. Still, those old things that God created in Genesis are a solution today. It improves digestion. You know, there's a lot of people who eat healthy food that ends up not being healthy for them. You know why? Because that healthy food is not doing what it's supposed to do because of toxins. The most important thing, actually, let me just leave it. I'll talk about it a bit later on. Let me go on further. It's still in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, sunlight. Sunlight is one of the most, sunlight, just sunlight. Is there anyone who can charge you for sunlight? They wanted to charge us, but unfortunately they can't. Just sunlight. Every morning when you wake up, take your time in the sun. It is created in the book of Genesis. Year 0. 4th day. So we're talking about BC 04. Not even 04. BC 0, 4th day. Yes. Yes. When the West came here, because they were not exposed to the sun, they come here and they tell us that the sun has got cancer. So, snabo yellow bone, who don't want to stay in the sun. There is something that I discovered. I'm not saying it's 100% true. Black people have got a tendency to survive and get benefits from the sun than any other race. I watched Man of Steel, Superman. He gets recharged by facing the sun. You may wonder where these ideas come from. But the truth of the matter is that the sun gives you vitamin D, and it doesn't give you vitamin D, your body produces vitamin D. The sun is one of the ways to actually cleanse. It's a cleanser. It's an antibiotic. A bandage, depending on how bad the wound is, when you cover the wound, you are obscuring it from the sun. You are obscuring it from the air, from it seeing the oxygen. And it takes long. Even the skin around where the plaster is or the bandage, it starts showing signs of decay. But once you start exposing it to the sun, there's a lot of differences. I'm not saying stay in the sun for 2-3 hours, no. Spend your time in the sun for about maybe 30 minutes max. Just expose your body to. And the same white people, they go to the beach and they lie there on the sun. I spoke to one white guy Bedford View at the gym, they've got a machine that gives you rays of the sun. And he says the better one is the sun, the real sun in my yard. And he's a bit darkish, he's a bit brownish. And then I asked him, why? What's happening here? But you know what? We want to be as dark as you. And Tina sifuna bleach as mhlophe. And the other one was saying, you know what, black people have got the best health. In fact, if I can stand in the sun begging, and umlungu ame la eceleni kwami, begging, within a day, who will look better? Me. Umlungu Shem. So appreciate being a black person. I'm not agitating politics. Appreciate being a what? A black person is ever beautiful. A black person withers very slowly. I've seen these ladies, you find a lady that is 22 years, but she looks 35. And then you find a black lady that is 35, she looks 22. Black ladies, you are very beautiful. Amen. Black men, you are very handsome. I go to gym, you find these white people, a boy, he's 18 years, he's this tall and big, and he looks like my age. And among the change room, talking a lot of rubbish that we talk there. They say, how old are you? And I say, I know. The last time I said I'm 38, they said, you can't be 38, you. Look at the beard, but the face. No, you're confusing. They pick up heavy weights, just like I do, but I'm much more smaller than them. It's not in the size, the power is not in the size, eh? But I'm trying to talk about the sun, right? I'm sorry for diverting. The benefits of the sun are amazing. It's a detox, you know, one of the doctors was talking about vaccines. He was saying, you know what, people don't need vaccines, they need vitamin D. They are the ones who are saying it now, the white doctors. What is the purpose of vitamin D? It is a real vaccine. When the child is busy licking the ground, sorry to go back a bit, they are immunizing themselves. That's a vaccine. When a child is walking barefooted, there are bacteria down there. You know how black people used to vaccinate children? They would take, near the river, they would kill a bird, a cow, or whatever, small things there, and let them mix with utaga lapan, near the river. And they would take that wet soil, put it in a bath. And they would take a child, I think on the 8th month, they bath him, they make him play there. And that child, magaphuma lapana, uyabekwa nje on the side, aloka ngcolile. And what happens in that process, the body of the child interacts with the bacteria down there, with all those things, and then the child is vaccinated. These white people come and they come and inject us with things that we don't know, but a natural vaccine. What is a vaccine? A vaccine is an injection of that very thing that they're trying to protect you. It's just a dead one. But black people used to vaccinate people naturally so. Those people who come from Africa, is there anyone who comes from Africa? From that top part of Africa? I was talking to some of them. Is there anyone who works with people from Zimbabwe and Tanzania and all those places? Okay. I want you to take your time and check them if they are ever sick. They are hardly sick. And they are born in the bundus there. That's how they were immunized. Tina saloko sahlatshwa nkosi yami from day one umntana ememeza ohlatshwa. Mawukhula nywe. Asazi bafakani laphana. I once made an investigation and I was shocked at what is put in the vaccine. One of the things that are put in the vaccine is alumin. You know what's alumin? It's aluminium, particles of aluminium. And aluminium is known to numb the brain, is known to kill the immune system, to destroy digestive system. Digestive system is one of the most important things in the body. It is known to cause mind numbness. Some of us are growing up sick, and some of us are sick later on simply because of a vaccine that was put long time ago. I'm not saying don't take your child for vaccine, but make an investigation before you take your child to all those things. One of the saddest things that they are doing that I've actually found out and I saw myself is the placenta that you're leaving at the hospital. They take it. It's full of stem cells and they use it. Go and make an investigation as well. I don't want to stand here to ushumayele ama politics nama conspiracy theory. Find out yourself. It calls for God's children to be cognizant with everything that they are doing. Because he who controls your health controls your life, controls your salvation as well. Genesis 1:28, he said, he blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish and over the sea and the birds and the sky and every creature that moves on the ground. Relationship with animals. Have you ever noticed, Wuti, we don't have a relationship with animals? Let me tell you a secret about relationship with animals. I'm not saying I've got a dog or a pet or whatever, okay? But one of the things that I've once found out is that dogs also have got fur and all these things. Dogs go all over the place, and when they interact with you, you get those things and then you become immunized. They act as a vaccine. Let me not dwell too much on it. Okay, I'm not saying I'm ofuya, but it is very important when you have a yard like this to have a school part, to have, I'm not saying anyone who there are people who say magna school part or anything, and a cat, We once found a kangaroo, by the way, in Lokshini when we grew up. So we ask ourselves, what does a kangaroo do and stuff? But if you notice that the Western people always have animals around them. Let me go further about this one. Nutrition. God says, I give you every seed-bearing plant. What is the symbol of a seed? Seed symbolizes life. And the fruits, they will be yours for food. I'm not going to talk about meat. We know meat, Anish, and we know what's the problem with meat. We know what the meat that we're eating is not meat. Or must I share a bit on that? Yeah. Okay. There was not really a problem about meat in the olden days because a cow would go and eat the grass and grow properly. But the problem that we have the likes of Monsanto. You know who's Monsanto? Okay, Monsanto is a company that deals with genetically modified organisms. In other words, they take an apple, they take a cow that is supposed to take 6 years to grow in 6 months. So how do they do it? They inject it with growth hormones. What do these growth hormones do? They get into the body of the animal. And the cow that you are eating, you think it's a big cow. Now that explains, now when you eat that cow, you are eating not only that poor nana, you are also eating the chemicals that they gave the nana to grow fast. Maybe it can explain why our children at the age of 9 can impregnate a woman. 9 years. Kanga wena. Yakhulelwa. Girls at the tender age, 11, 12, they start looking at you funny. But mkhulu utiyabheka unana lo. Where does it all come from? They have been made to grow fast. We are ingesting everything that they inject to the poor cow. The poor cow dies scared. And all those fears are coming too. So when they go on national TV and say, hey, coronavirus, and you go, because you always add 8 death. They go and say, hey, dead wave, Ferenachen, watch out. And we go, udle ukuthuka vele lento oyidlayo ife ithukile konke lokuthuka lokuza kuphi kuwe. Scientifically, let me try and explain it. There is a fight or flight hormone that kicks in and goes into the muscles, and it's DNA in nature. So in other words, you cannot burn it, you cannot cook it and kill it. So when you eat that, you eat a nice oxtail. One of the most important things I've learned from Islam, I'm not preaching Islam, right? They say there's haram and halal. Haram is unholy. Now, you will never in your whole life see a Muslim just buy meat, even if it's not pork, and eat it. What is their secret? One of their biggest secrets is that the halal ones, which are Jewish kosher, which is what we are reliant on. Jewish, anyways, yafana isn't ma Muslim na ma Juda. Now let me go to the diet yabo. One of the most important things is that how they kill the animal is different. Yes, they do their prayers and stuff, and then we get scared with the Islamic demons are getting in there. No, I'm not talking about the demons. But what I'm trying to say is that the way that they kill the animal, they don't show it, they don't make it feel like it's going to die today. That is why most of them they will never buy in other places, because they know how we kill animals. Before ifa. I remember when I was I was about to be a Seventh-day Adventist. Mfana mfanele uhlabe inkukhu kumele uyibambe mangiyibamba lapha inkukhu bathi khame ehame. Now inkukhu yabantu iyamemeza lapha nawe ngibhizi ngiyasika. It dies scared. Sometimes if you can leave it headless, within the first minute, it can run all over the place. Why? Ithukile. We take that chicken, we put it in a pot, we eat it. We eat all the runnings away. And then when they come on television, they come and tell us, yeah, gune mosquito manje, yabulala le mosquito, be careful, we are all scared. It is important to guard what we eat. I'm not saying don't eat meat. I'm not saying eat it. Make your own what? Decision. And please don't go around judging abazalwana abadlinyama again. I'm not going to stand here and say ezulwini kongena abantu abangadli inyama. That's also a wrong gospel. Like ngathi ezulwini uJesu yobamile uthi you eat leaves you. Lapha side. Green is very important. We know chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is very important for the nutrition of the body. How long do I have? Can I speak? Because it looks like Ngathi ngidlula isikhathi. Ngiqhubeke. Tell me when you've had enough, okay? And the Imnan, you know the difference between the meat yasemakaya and the meat yala is that yasemakaya you don't have to spice it. Have you noticed? Leya la ama-box la. Ile nkomo le khuliswe fast ifakwa ama-box. You know what's the problem with the meat again here? Is that meat eats meat. And the cow is meant to be a vegetarian. But you know what they do? That bird, that dog that you see in the street that dies, and the cow that dies there as a result of these chemicals that they're doing, they take it and they chop it. And after chopping it, they mix it with some chemicals and grass, they give it to another cow. And that cow eats another cow. And after it has eaten another cow, you know one of the diseases that we get from cows is a mad cow disease. And a mad cow disease is not only by seeing a cow is krashala emabondweni. A mad cow disease also gets into human beings and corrupts your digestive system. And your digestive system goes mad as well. I once read a book that talks about the origins of mad cow disease. Is that there was a nation that had a tendency, Ebephila in the Pundus, that had a tendency of eating other people that have died and believing that they're absorbing all the energies from those people, and they started going mad. They still practice that with the farming industry. It's important to detox, eh? I was about to talk about green. Bengafuna ukukhuluma ngenyama. But again, you asked me to talk about it. Green is very important in the plants. Sinemiroho, we've got all those things. You know, Barefooted lived for a long time. One of the radio interviews that they asked him, how come you keep so strong? Uthi ngiphila ngani ngepapa nomroho. Africans, you know, I have a tendency of I have a tendency of going to visit the Nigerian shops. About okra and stuff. I started getting familiarized with okra. You know what's okra? It's slimy. You know the benefits of that thing. Eating mama eat okra. You will see things at home. Yeah. Umunyu baba uzogcina ngasazuli ahlala endlini. Siyekele okra. There's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of benefits. Sometimes I post on Facebook. I've just stopped posting on Facebook, but I post a lot about the benefits of these plants. Another one is bitter kola. After I got married, I had a friend who's a Nigerian. He says, my friend, eat bitter kola. I tell you now. Where you go home, every morning you wake up. As you are drinking that healthy water, take a bitter cola in an empty stomach. Yeah, I tell you now. You eat bitter cola, it makes me drink a lot of water. And what did I say about water? It's very important. Anyway, can I just correct something about water? If you're not exercising, do not take more than what you're supposed to take. Because there is a problem again with drinking too much water. And that is you are dissolving the nutrition that is supposed to be retained in your body, right? Only when you're exercising, you can take a little bit more, okay? But water is very important. Sometimes when you go to pee, examine your pee. If it's too yellow, you need water. If it's too colorless, there's a problem as well. It must be somewhere in the middle, okay? Nutrition is very important. Let me go on further. Exercise. I cannot overstate the importance of exercise. Exercise does a lot of things in the body. It's found here, Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. Then God said, I give you every seed bearing, blah, 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 what I read. And then the Lord took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. Bazali, your children, as I've noticed something about our latter day children, they don't work. I don't know what kind of abakwenyana are you raising for our daughters. Because if a son does not know how to take care of a garden, he will not know how to take care of a wife. Because a wife and a garden is yafan. It needs a lot of patience. It needs a lot of watering and seeding. But whatever comes out of there becomes multiplied. That's the principle. Yeah, you can look at me like that. Yes. We go around saying, hey, I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married. We don't even know how to plant a potato. Some of us are very educated. Hey, banama masters, nama degree, umbozo uthi zamba nelibuyapi. Agaz. There's a problem with the education that we have. You know how serious the problem of education is? It has taught people about things that they will never work on. And made them forget about the basics. Physical work is very important. Your interaction as you're touching that ground, it interacts with you. You give it something, it gives you something back. Bobaba, just wake up in the morning and jog, eh? Just jog and breathe that morning air. It will help you, it will make you go a long distance. Just physical work is very important, even for the daughters as well. But I'm emphasizing more on the boys because, yeah, it's a problem, Nagwami, to make my boy work. But it's a duty that I have to instill on a child, that you work here. I've gone to the point of actually trying to reimburse or to pay them. Anyway, one of the reasons why I did that is that our boys don't know money. Our children don't know money. So all they know, they want a PlayStation, they want hoverboards. They don't know where does the money come from. So you teach them about money, you make them physically work. Isn't that interesting? Thina bomkhulu bethu bakuvusa ekuseni. Uhambe uyosebenza. Ubuya uthola next bazothola uthola isengwa ngisho. Huh? We started knowing about money. I honestly, I started looking at money in matric when I needed to buy some things. Yeah, but we need to teach our children from even younger than this about money. One of the reasons why we are poor today is because it's not that we don't have money. We have lots of money. It's just that it's in a sifo sokuba ama-consumer. Siyakhonzuma nje thina. Baze basibiza ngama-consumer ama-businessmen. That's a very derogatory. Have you ever noticed how bad that term is? Uyadla wena, yinto into oyaziyo nje uyadla nje wena. You are a consumer. You consume all the time instead of producing. Teach your children to be producers. Now be a producer yourself. Work, use your body, exercise. As you're exercising, there's a lot of gaseous exchange. It teaches you to breathe. I have a serious problem with masks. I know there's a lot of people who are saying something. They're saying, no, doctors wear masks when they operate and stuff. But there's a serious problem in a mask. Because I used to work in a submarine. In a submarine, there's levels of CO2. The healthiest ones are from 200 to 900. After 900, it's described as a toxic environment. So we need to go and suck some air and put it in there. And in the mask, it jumps to 2,500 in the very first few seconds. So angazi, I don't know. Maybe I'm backward, or maybe I don't know. But it worries me that mask, because I've been, as I'm working for ESCOM, I'm a project manager. I manage projects in Soweto, the whole Niger, the whole of Tswane, East and West. And I interact with a lot of people. During the time when there was this COVID fear and stuff, I was driving around. I was only wearing a mask when I went to Shibas, Nyoteng. Mangpuma, take off the mask. Take your time, breathe the air, breathe. It was created by God, by the way, just breathe. Please. Just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Every now and then, whatever situation. I used to write exams, very difficult exams. Engineering is very difficult. I'm not saying other courses are not difficult. But when I forgot something, I would just sit and take a deep breath. And in a few seconds, information would come flooding. Deep breaths. Angazi why we are discouraged from breathing. But yeah, low, dangerous, low. Temperance. Hey, this one is very important. 2 verse 16, and God commanded men, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die. Other Bibles say, on the day you eat. So I was waiting for Adam to die on that day. Adam didn't die on that day. He died after 1,000 years. And then the same Bible comes to me, it says, for 1,000 years is like a day unto God. So yeah, Adam died on that day. All right, temperance. One of the most important verses about the last days, Matthew 24, starting from verse 36 to 39. It says, for in the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking. And then I used to ask myself, what's the problem with eating and drinking? Jesus was talking about intemperance that will be so visible in the last days. Ngezwa kuthiwa bathi abomama bethu in the olden days, abosisi used to cook like their mothers, but now they drink like their fathers. There is a problem about intemperance. You can eat something very healthy, but if you eat it too much, you have a problem. I'm going to go back to sugar. One of the problems with the sugar is that it causes intemperance. And I can proudly say it's a lie that you have to eat for 3 days, of 3 times in a day. Yeah. It's a business marketing tool. There's nothing good about it. You know why you eat 3 times a day or even more? It's because of sugar. When sugar comes in, it also gives you fake cravings. And that causes intemperance. Look at all the products that are advertised on television. There's sugar everywhere. From the cereals to the snacks to normal food and stuff. Ushugela, ushugela, ushugela. And one problem about sugar is that it's addictive. If you want to find out if you are, the people who don't believe that they are addicted to sugar. If you want to find out that you're addicted to sugar, leave it for 2 days and see what will happen to your body. Just eat food without sugar. Uyoqhaqhazela, uyoba impatient with everyone. Why? Because your body wants sugar. From the soft drinks, the problem, I should have brought a tin, but make your own research. Ne? Take a can of Coke and check the sugar content in the percentage. Coke is around 32%. Now, let's say this is 250 mils. 50% of it is here, Anish. 32 is somewhere here of sugar that you're taking in a can. The energy boosters go up above 50%. So we got here. I'm not talking about caffeine as well. Let me tell you a secret about energy boosts and sugar. They get into your body and your body screams, Toxins, toxins. And your blood runs up and down trying to get rid of toxins. You think you have got energy. And on top of that, what energy boosters do, they release this fight or flight hormone. I forgot it. What do they call it? Adrenaline. Now, the adrenaline that you keep on increasing, you use it, you overuse it unnecessarily. When danger comes, you will not see. You don't easily perceive danger. You want to ask me why car accidents amaning is because they are busy buying Red Bull and stuff. I'm not talking about alcohol, right? Red Bull and stuff, you keep on taking it, you drive long distance, you're taking it, you get energy and your body is busy screaming inside. Toxins, 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 your blood goes up and down, you think, I've got energy. Yeah, you're driving inside. You know, one of the bad things I used to do as well is to take grandpa for study. Please don't do that, students, if you're a student. Yes, you will get that energy through the night, but caffeine as well also kills your adrenaline. Caffeine takes away water. Sugar also takes away water. That is why most of the time, and it's amazing, we are warmer by drinking coffee or caffeine. Why warmer? It's because your body is busy screaming toxins. It is asking you, give me water. I want to get rid of this thing. Then you start growing fast. You look like a go-go at the age of 30, Shem. Kubo baba khona into eziwayo ezikhomba ama South Pole. Kubo mama kuba nalenkinga yabo baba men pause. Maceda bathi sinenkinga nabo baba. Akunkinga no baba. Akusinkinga ne-menopause. Inkinga ushukela. I can count over 150 different kinds of sicknesses that come from intemperance caused by sugar. Sugar alone. 1 teaspoon of sugar kills your immune system for 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. 1 teaspoon of sugar. In the olden days, ushukela used to be known as a delicacy for the rich people. And they are the ones who used to die of heart attacks. Another thing is that sugar is not easily digestible, so it gets into your liver. Your body says, I can't deal with anything that the body can't digest. It converts to fat and stores it in the liver. And then you keep on taking, and then it finds another places to store. Yohlala ngapha. Skin cells. The problem that comes later on, it causes cholesterol. And from the cholesterol, you get heart attacks. Whilst it's doing that, it's killing your ability to digest natural sugar from the fruits and plants. So, diabetes. In combination with the meat, fat, the oil, nayo, ivala, that part of the body that produces a hormone that kills sugar or that digests or burns sugar. And then on sugar diabetes. You want to hear a cure for sugar diabetes? Stop meat. The idea of ama tablets, guess where does it come from? Genesis 1:29. Seeds. We eat an avocado, ne? What do we do with the seed? Throw it away. Let me tell you, an avocado seed contains 9 times the nutrition that you get from avos. You know what I do at home? I take it, slice it, let it dry, put it in a blender. Every time I just fafaza it there. Very, very beneficial for the body, for the hair, for the eyes. Eh? Did you know that you can reverse eyesight with the food? Your pancreas. That helps detox your pancreas. Eh? So specs, but why do I my specs? It's not true. God has designed plants in such a way that they don't only feed us nutrition, they feed us original genetic information. One of the reasons why we are mostly sick is because from our genetics, we are affected. So when you eat right, you're not only eating the nutrition, you're not eating for rumnand, you're also eating for genetic information. You want to make beautiful children, eat a lot of beetroot. Because beetroot reverses nature. Yes. We're talking about mantua, eh? Batu mantua waye better, but today kukhulunywa ngama beetroot nama ginger nanan for COVID. Let me tell you what they actually do. They detox the body and makes the cells to be original. Many people, I will not say this is a cure, right? But many people feel good, let me put it like that, after enjoying natural food. When you cook, please research how to cook. Bo mama, you are one of the most integral people in the family structure. Lo baba lo, uyaphila today because of umama. Who's strong today, unama muscles because of umama, because of what she does in the kitchen. But bo mama, you can also be killers. You can kill us. Eh? Who gave Adam a fruit? The snake, ne? Ever since I started, while I was alone, from 2017 I was alone, a single father for 1.5 years. I was eating very healthy, very, very healthy. Ngahlangana nentombi. And I was like, yeah, hey, you're telling the truth about diet. How about ice cream? Trust and rest in God. Rest is very, very important. It's in the book of Genesis. The Sabbath keeping is very, very important. About temperance as well, did you see I quoted Genesis chapter 2? About temperance as well is to find rest. uNkulunkulu akadalanga ubusuku nemini because he was playing. Ebusuku you sleep, emini you work. On the 7th day of the week you rest. There's a lot of health benefits. I actually decided not to beam them on this presentation. We know them. We are Sabbath keepers. Are we Sabbath keepers? Are we Sabbath keepers? Or we church attenders? There's a lot of benefits with Sabbath keeping. First of all, it connects you with the Creator. And once you're connected with the Creator, you're connected with life. Jesus Christ says, I cannot overstate the benefits of connecting with your Creator. Kuningi, kuyamangaza kuyathusa. Uzwa kuthiwa, hey, sithandazile waphola. No, sumthandazo. It's the Creator that came. He just came. And there's life. He does a lot of things that we cannot explain ngomlomo wethu. He performs miracles in our lives. We come here, we pray. One of the most important things about nutrition is our connection with the Creator as well. There's a lot of people who don't believe that. Say, because of food, I hear God. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is the best example that you can ever use. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego even was given access to supernatural visions and dreams. So food does not only do the health and the genetic information. Kuba nama access, the Hindus, when they want to do the what you call these things, zabos or tandas, some of them, I don't know whether they float in air or what. One of the first things that they start focusing on is fasting diet. They maintain their diet like this. Unfortunately, it's a tool that is used by the devil for other religions. And us who are supposed to use it for our own benefit, we don't use it. But the way we eat also controls our relationship with God. Where on earth can you understand someone's dream who's not even telling you what the dream is? That's a supernatural capability. That's a supernatural power. Right there. How on earth are you even able to explain visions of the future? You can't explain that technology. One of the first things that the West came to destroy the black people was to change their diet. Now you ask me, why kunama advert ukudla okusheshe kwenziwe ama ready made? Why kunama noodles advert? Why go advertise with Coke? It does not only destroy our health, it destroys our connectivity with God. So kunamasala today who even eating ngulube. And I'm not only talking about normal Adventists, I'm talking about pastors. Unomunye ngamthola, yazi ngambheka ngamfanisa uthi hayi man. Uye lo. Hayi akusuye ufana naye mara ngathi uye. Uorder ama ribs espare. And they will tell you no, it does nothing. Let me tell you, it does a lot. Ngiyazi ukuthi ingulube ayinamadimoni. Ingulube ayinamadimoni. But there is a connectivity that we are destroying. Take ingulube, take a piece of bacon, uyibeke lapha ekitchen kwakho uyithele ngecoke mhlawumbe or uyibeke elangeni ubone ukuthi kuphumani. For yourself, those white things they move, they wiggle. The toxins in the body of a pork are more than the toxins of a poison yenyoka. So when a nyoka bites it, I feel it next because it's got more poison than that. So it eats it. It looks busy. It swallows it. Itaka inyoka ibathi yaluma ethi hayi ngiyaluma manje. Hayi ingulube inandaba yathatha iyadla. Idla kwakona leyo poison because it's got more poison. And then you human being, because you think you are clever. You take it and you eat it. Size sidla nemithanyelo nama vacuum cleaner. Yeah. Under the sea. Those crabs, those prawns. A shark eats and defecates and leaves pieces there. And God created those things to clean the sea. And they clean. And then because of the toxins, they are too much, they die. And you see shells on the seashore. And then you take it when vacuum clean. You might as well take a vacuum cleaner and eat it. That's what you're doing. You need to be careful about rich people's foods. Because it looks like they have had it in life, so they want to end their life quick. So not because you think you are clever, you want to be like them. They are shortening their lifespan. Many rich people die early of cancers and stuff. Sibhizi siphuzana nezinto zabanye abantwana. Umntwana uyancela kuma wakhe. Wena uyasuka uyoncela ibisi lomntwana. And then you think it's normal. You're wondering, what am I talking about? The milk elomunye umntwana. Lelo uthenga lapha ne shop. How would you feel wena ngifike kunkosikazi wakho ngiphuza ibisi? Into yenzayo leyo komunye umntwana wenkomo. One other problem with milk, milk used to be good. I'm not saying otherwise. But milk used to be bad. Actually, milk was bad. Milk contains proteins that are not broken down by an adult's body. And then you take it. One of the ugliest things about milk, one lady who works at the milk company said, "Mina ngeke ngiliphuze ibisi." Ngithi why ati le nkomo lezi sometimes when they are being milked, angitsho ziyahlatshwa for business to produce more milk. Sometimes they don't only produce milk, they produce unnatural because umama wenkomo is meant to produce milk around for 18 months angisho. And after 18 months she stops until she gives birth again. But now the problem is that ziyahlatshwa ukuthi ziqhubeke unnaturally so to produce the milk so that you get the milk. And after you get the milk, you drink it. And after drinking it, you get sick, you get cancer, and you die. Where does it all come from? That milk, unfortunately, is produced unnaturally. Sometimes liphuma negazi. And those cows get sick as well. And when they get sick, they are injected with antibiotics. And then umntwana uyagula uphathwa yi-flu or whatever. Abo doctor babhizi bayamhlaba lapha ngama-antibiotics awasebenzi because the body is too used to the antibiotics that we are eating. Angisho ukuthi ninga-enjoy ice cream bazalwane, ningathi nangulo bhuti lo ofuna ukuthi singa-enjoy ilontuza, but it's one of the ugliest things. Cheese as well is the biggest problem. You see a person on a cancer, two things, sugar, milk, get rid of them. Because your body does not know what to do. So it takes wrong genetic. In conclusion, discipline and completion of objectives is one of the healthiest things. Isn't it fulfilling when you're saying you're in the project? And when you do it, you finish it. It gives you more oomph to keep on living. Isn't it? It's part of health, by the way. And about new start. This is not only new start, it's more. I'm not preaching new start only. It's more than just new start. There's a lot. Actually, I can talk the whole day about Genesis chapter 1 and 2 when it comes to health. I can talk about business as well, Genesis chapter 1. But the most important thing is that have a tendency of starting things and finish them. On the seventh day, God what? Finished them. Chapter 1, verse 26, it says, let us make men after our image and after our likeness. Basifuze. And God did what? He finished creating. Now we have a tendency of starting things to finish them, whatever it is. Umshumayeli uti, whatsoever your hand findeth to do, do what? Do it with all your might. Do not do izinto halfway. It kills your health, your eagerness to continue to live. I would like to conclude ngaloko. Gonna light up the whole